Hello, everyone. Welcome to the BrosOnAir podcast. My name is Andre Bracing, and today we're launching something that we feel is very important to me as a person, as a human being, but also important to my brothers as well. We're here to talk about some of the things that we feel are important, not only to each other, but to other people. Things that are important to Philly, things that need to be talked about, some things that are probably not being mentioned enough, but also talk about things that we like sports, movies, action, adventure, talk about politics, relationships, marriage, religion, pretty much any subject under the sun, from God knows what. But we will always do it from a male perspective, from a good perspective, positive perspective, but also you want to make sure that we keep it real, but also from a Philly perspective as well. With that said, we're going to begin this podcast. This is our first one, so we're working through a lot of different things, so bear with us. But we promise that this will just get better as we go along. So relax, enjoy the ride, and enjoy the BrosOnAir podcast.
I think our purpose is just to basically piggyback off off you more so like give a perspective of all different current events and different topics that we discuss from a Philly standpoint. Like a lot of us, you know, we we pay attention to what's going on, but some of us don't care, and a lot of us do care because it does impact not only our culture, but it also impacts our background. It impacts our neighborhoods, and it just impacts overall.
All right. So, Dan.
Yeah.
Mr. Tampa Bay.
Say it again.
Our purpose.
Oh, well, our purpose is to make sure that we just um, provide a different perspective from a bunch of different age brackets. Because being so, I am the youngest out of all of us. Um, everybody might have their own different things, viewpoints on things, and especially being younger, I see things a little different. But our purpose is, like I said, to give a different perspective, uh, be innovative, be fresh, be new, and not really worry about trying to be like everybody else, but set our own sail, our own boat, so that we're not looking being like everybody else's
Right.
podcast.
Because we don't want to hear a bunch of old men complaining about stuff.
Yeah, we ain't got
At
time.
all, because that'll get on my nerves.
Yeah, all that.
There you go. Dave, you got the floor.
All right. Just to echo, everything what y'all said was true, but just to give just to basically tell our story. Each one of us is unique. We all have a different story to tell. But coming from mostly the same area, even though we have different age groups. Being that you're the youngest, Dan, like you said. But anyway, being that like we have different age groups, we give a different perspective and a different spin, but tell our story, and hopefully it will help and inspire some people to get better and to get a better perspective to help them. So our perspective is just to be ourselves, and as well as tell our story, and just so we can help people and educate people, and hopefully somebody can get something out of it.
That is so true.
Mm-hmm.
Authenticity is important.
Yep.
All right, so let's see. What's on the menu today? Usually, we would like to try to start off with something exciting, something cool, but instead, we got Trump.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So I'm not sure if you guys saw what I saw on that stage, but I saw, two grumpy old men arguing, complaining, and whining. And it was not exciting. But for some strange reason, these are our choices. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel like we're just doomed actually at this point. With just watching it, it was just like nobody else wants to run. Nobody wants to step up to the plate to try to take us, take us there. Because, like you said, it was just like grumpy old men arguing with each other, and I'm like, come on now, like we're here to debate about different things. Y'all are literally just taking personal shots at each other, and it's just like, all right, y'all can go to the Waffle House like y'all like Biden did, and y'all can fight there. They'll let you have a free fall right in Waffle House. So just yeah, it's just sad that these are the only two candidates that we have. Like, and Biden's not a bad president, but it's just like he's old, and some stuff is just like he can't be out here just trying to. He's just saying anything. Sometimes I watch his interviews or whatnot. He's be saying whatever, and it's like, bro, what are we talking about? And Trump is just saying whatever as well. But he's getting getting people riled up for the wrong reasons.
He spent a lot
Um,
of time just pointing fingers and blaming everyone else for things that he did wrong.
hmm
I agree. And on top of that, like I really didn't get a chance to watch the debate. I'm gonna be honest with you. I fell asleep on it. Let's be honest, because again, two grumpy old men are taking shots at each other. However, let's put it in better perspective. Trump tried to make it sound like he was a better president, where the moderators were actually giving him was basically fact checking him. So he basically lied. Then on top of that, we got a person that got what 34 counts of felony, a 34 count felony on his record, and talking about running for president. Like, let's be 100. I think I talked with this with other people. Like, it's the lesser of two evils. Okay, nobody really wants Trump in office, but Biden is too old. So what are you going to do? I mean, I got to take this. I got to agree with Dan. Nobody wanted to step up. Nobody wanted to say, "Hey, look, I'm going to go ahead and just take the reins." I mean, okay, Carmela. I mean, our vice president. She cool, but I don't understand why she didn't run
Well,
again.
she can't run because she's vice president and she'll be vice president again.
Right, but here's the thing: when she was running beforehand, she dropped out. I guess because Trump just got a lot of stuff from a lot of people, and pretty much started noticing lately a lot of different figures like Mitt Romney and other lawmakers just been falling off the map. So I'm like, okay, what do you got on these people so that way, because they're being hush hush and quiet. You feel me?
That's true, but I think the other thing that we have to consider as well is the fact that right now, in the Democratic Party, he is the president, and if he says that he's running, you know, they're going to fall in line and no one's going to run against him.
Yeah, but
Now, the
I
other
mean, I
the other
guess the
thing
Democratic
is,
Party. Mhm.
who else is there?
Well, that's the
You got
thing.
a
Like
point.
like I was saying, I think a lot of them people got basically pushed back, but it just that debate was just so it was so sorrowful. It was like you said, it was like these are our selections, and not only that, what made Biden so bad, he was just like they asked him a question like, "Yeah, what about healthcare?" And he just like, "Yeah, well, what I feel about healthcare is so important." And then, yeah, I think I ordered a number two at Wendy's, and he started going all over the place. He was like, "What?" He's like, "What? That ain't had nothing to do." Then he started talking. I'm like, "What?" Like, yo, what the heck? They asked you about healthcare. You start going on about the birds chirping. Yeah, and the birds chirping very nice. So it
Mm.
made him look really bad. Like it was, it was like really bad.
Well, check here, okay? Let's be 110% when I'm gonna come with this, okay? When when President Obama did his
Mhm.
first debate against, I guess, Mitt Romney, I won't say John McCain, Mitt Romney, he bombed. Okay, granted, it was his
But
anniversary.
he ain't.
He
But he
really
ain't look
wanted to,
like that. He didn't look
chill with
incompetent. I keep
Michelle.
forgetting.
They wanted
Like
to
he was
go.
forget.
He wasn't
He
that. He
He didn't
wasn't as
sound
bad
like
as.
that.
He wasn't that
he,
bad.
he wasn't that bad, but see, at the end of the day, just like other Democrats are saying, it's not this. This is the first debate. Yeah,
He
he.
looked like
Let's
Weekend at
face it, he
Bernie's. I'm
just
talking about. He looked like
dropped.
Weekend at
Like I
Bernie's.
don't know
Like
what.
somebody was control. Right. Somebody.
It's the second debate concerned about because at the end of the day, if he really doesn't hit home on all the different topics that they were talking about, healthcare, immigration, Ukraine, and everything, if he doesn't hit home with those things, you might as well forget it. Yeah, we about to have Trump back in
He
office
looked
again, and
like
all
if he
hell's
had
about to
three
break
hard
loose.
coughs, he gone.
Oh, that's what record heard with I was in the military. His son was in the military. So I mean, we got to give him just a
No, I
little bit of
really don't
grace,
because I
just
really
a
don't
little bit.
because he's
Give him
supposed to
some
be our
grease hot
president.
sauce to
This is
wake him
supposed to
up.
be our leader, so I don't have to
Not
give
much
him
grace.
grace
Not
because
much. Just
because
not
these
much.
are our leaders. I'm tired of giving people excuses. That's the thing we got to stop making excuses for people. If these are people that are supposed to be our leaders, if these are people that are supposed to govern us, we got to stop making excuses for these people. These people are supposed to lead us, and that's why we in the trouble that we are now. In general, not just presidency, but the leadership period in our cities and in our churches and our organizations. A lot of them are falling and dropping the ball, and then we come up with these excuses. Oh, well, he got 7 kids. Well, he got this. Yeah, but you accept the responsibility to become these leaders. So it's time to like stop making these excuses. I'm not trying to say nobody's perfect, but at the same time, accountability. Yes, you need to accept accountability for these things. Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
I don't know what happened. I see an M on
The
there.
heck? I agree.
What happened? Oh, I don't
I
know.
see an M.
Yeah, I don't know what's wrong.
Outstanding.
That was really, 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 really important though, because again, when we were seeing the beginning way back in 2016, you know, even 2020, there were a lot of really, really, really good Democratic options. And right now, they just seems like they're all gone. Kamala, she got the vice president spot, and the vice president normally really doesn't do much. But, you know, even if Biden decided to step aside, um, has Kamala Harris done enough to warrant her actually taking his spot?
With Vice President Harris, man, like her approval rating kind of like sucking per se. Not too many people are happy with her for whatever reason. I don't know, but I mean, she would probably made a good presidential candidate had she stayed in the race.
Well,
But
I think
when
she,
she
I think
dropped
she's
out,
kind of forced out. That's kind of like what Dre said. When a president steps up and say like he's running again, it pretty much like they pretty much like go with the strongest. Like to them, they like the president, run again. You got to back down. Pretty much, it's like you got to back down. The president running again. Now let she go against the grain and be like, no, I'm, you
let's
know.
put it. Let
Hmm.
Yeah, well, see, let's put it this way. At the end of the day, the Democratic Party wanted somebody that was strong enough to go Trump and beat
Hmm.
Trump. You see what I'm saying? Hillary let us down, technically. But in the same given token, they're like, okay, the only option we had was Biden. Because let's face it, I don't think there was a strong Democratic candidate out here that would have went against Trump and won, other than Barack Obama, if he would have ran for a third term.
Well, they had what's his name, Bernie. They had Bernie who was getting a lot of strong. Even though he was old, he was still spunky.
Bernie was not strong enough. I'm
He actually had a lot of attention,
right,
Yeah, he had a
but
lot,
and
and
he was really making a lot of really good valid points. The
yep,
problem,
yep.
I think, the problem was is that it just, I don't know, for some reason he wasn't reaching like the younger crowds. I
Well,
mean,
well,
and
well,
mind
no, they
you,
they booed him for his
none
take.
of
They
the
they pretty much
candidates now are
pretty
reaching the
much
younger
stonewalled him.
crowds. But I'm telling you, I am really at the point where I'm like almost none of the above. I mean, I'm still going to vote for Biden, but I'm really thinking none of the above is like a
I'm about to I'm
better
about to
option.
build a
But
city on
if there's
about to
no,
build a city on another planet.
You're gonna make some noise.
yeah,
just
man,
like just like in
once
Tampa Bay
Chuck
for me.
Norris is in the White House, they're going to have to paint it yellow. Speaking of yellow, you know, um, there's something important that I think that we should discuss. Now, I know the original plan was to go in on Diddy and him diddling and all the craziness for Diddy, but you know what though? Let's not even go there. Since we're on the topic of yellow, let's go there.
Oh
LeBron
my
James
goodness.
and his son playing for the Lakers. How does that happen? And is it is it a good thing or a bad thing? Now, go ahead. I'm gonna
well,
let you guys go, and I'm gonna give you my take on it.
well, see, there has been a father son on the same team. Ken Griffey Jr. and Senior back in the day when they was playing, I think with either it was Seattle. I mean, yeah, it happens. I gotta ask the same question. Like, did LeBron pull some strings?
That
Because
was
you
only to
do
get
know
more money though.
LeBron opt out of his deal, so he can.
Yeah.
True, but I mean, my
No,
question is Bronny just as good as LeBron?
Well, we know that he's not as good as LeBron, but
he's not even
I
close
mean,
to him. He hasn't
close.
even
I
done
we don't
anything that LeBron did.
we don't know that. Yeah. What we do know is that he's LeBron's son. So there is some possibility that he may well do as well or exceed what his father can do, but it's not a guarantee. The other thing is the fact that he is a really good athlete, and we're giving athletes shots all the time. However, this one particular athlete just happens to be LeBron James' son.
And that's exactly why I got drafted because he's LeBron James'
Now,
son.
I do want to just say something real quick because I know you mentioned Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. And I'm telling you, back when I was
Mm-hmm.
really following baseball and watching, them on the, Cincinnati Reds and also Mariners, and I followed both of them in their careers. And Ken Griffey Jr., he did not get the same, I would say, treatment. Far as what they did, to get him the way he is. But I think that everyone respected the fact that, this man, you know, his father is on the team, so let's let him play. You know, and in baseball, I mean, there's a ton of outfielders that could have been chosen, other than King Griffey Jr. But they had enough, and they were like, okay, we have enough spots. Let's get this one guy, and he just turned out to be a beast.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Whereas
Oh yeah.
LeBron James' son, he plays, and he's not yet at that level where he's playing just like his father was back at his age. But that's still his son. And I think that a lot of things were done so that he could play with his father.
True. I can admit that. I mean, again, look look at the last name. That says it
What
all
does it
right
say?
there. You know what I mean? Now, again, we have to see what Bronny does in a game to say this that to actually agree with what you just said. I mean, again, you're right. Ken Griffey did not get no respect, but once he came up from the minors to when they played
Hmm.
in Seattle, because they was playing in Seattle, and yes, once Griffey Senior retired, Griffey Junior just took the spotlight, and like you said, he was a monster. Like, let's be real, he was just. It was just his. It was like his play was crazy.
I don't think we talking about the same thing though.
No,
It's
you're right.
not quite the same. You know, there's I think it's different circumstances behind both. Um, I think, like I said, there's a lot more to what happened with Bronny and LeBron, than Griffey and
Right.
Griffey. Now, honestly, I am a fan of the fact that he gets to play with his father. I think I like that. The how is an issue, but I do like the fact that he's able to do that. Because what father would not want to do that? Um, I think
I agree.
the the politics of it and how it happened. Because I mean, there's reports that his agent was going telling teams, do not pick him, do not pick him, do not pick him. So yeah, where we are not
Yeah.
signing if we pick him. This is for the Lakers. And the thing is, I kind of can believe that happened. You know, because people might have just say, you know what, Bronny's a good guy. I want to get Bronny, but hey, the Lakers wanted to do something special for LeBron, which they were able to do, and that's what they did.
Let's just see what the season holds for both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm being serious. Let's see what the season. If LeBron goes back to LA, he gets to play with his son, and let's see if they're
Yeah.
going to
I
turn
just
out to
hate when
be
somebody
the
play
beast of the
2K
West.
with NBA. When somebody play creative teams, I just don't like that.
yeah, because there was once a time where teams were built. I would say like
Right.
traditionally, where you either build your talent or you see a free agent, and you go out and get that free agent. Where now you can kind of pick and choose and manipulate the system to get whatever you want.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not used to
And
stars
I
joining
mean,
up
again,
people who don't like each other, joining teams and all that just to get a ring
Now,
and
what's
all that.
crazy is that
yeah,
um, I think they said his other son. Okay, so if LeBron's contract, I think like 2027. His other son, I think, is up for as a being drafted, and he can get drafted in 2026. So he get possibly play with both his sons on the team.
Echo.
tell them I want a Coke and some fries as well.
Yes.
I need right.
I mean, he's taking orders and everything. So, no, but on the real, I think one of the issues that this kind of brings up that a lot of people are talking about is nepotism. Is it nepotism? And I think honestly, I don't know. I don't want to say that it's nepotism because it's not necessarily LeBron hiring, you know, his son. The team is hiring his son. Is he involved in it? I think that his decision weighs heavily. Or his word weighs heavily. His name weighs heavily, so that they can make that happen for him. But I don't want to go out and say that it's nepotism. But even if it was, it's like, wouldn't you want to also make sure that you provide some of the best opportunities for your sons?
I mean,
Good
if I'm
point.
looking at it from LeBron's
Good point.
view, then I can see it that way. But if I'm looking at it
Yeah,
how we looking at it, I'm like, it's a tragedy. It's a catastrophe. I mean, that's the way that's the realness of it. If I'm looking at it through LeBron eyes, yeah, it's a dream come true. But if I'm looking at it how out through
Yeah,
outside eyes, I'm like, man, this is crap. This is bull crap. Like this is this is
because one thing that you do have to consider is the fact that that draft pick could have been someone else, and that person could have actually really benefited from
Right.
having that opportunity. And it's a possibility that they
Right.
didn't get picked or they didn't go to the team that could have benefited them. It's like we'll never know that. But you know, um, again, that's the drawback of what happened and the real life consequences. Bronny could have went anywhere and have been successful, and no matter what number he went, but I think that he went way too early for his skill set. There was a lot of more talented people that could
Speak,
have went where he went.
speaking of, is there everybody here a 76ers fan?
I think LeBron should. I think Bronny could have college. Yes, I am. But here's the thing. Let's
Hold
let's
on,
say that
hold on. Wait, before you start, Frank. Hold on, Frank. Before you start,
goes up.
Dave was saying something. Let Dave finish his thought.
Dave Stewart.
Go ahead, Dave.
No. I was saying was everybody a 76ers fan here? I was saying I don't know. I got to check because you got Tampa Bay fan or something. No. What's your team?
Mavericks.
I can't hear you, Dan. You muted. Mavericks are.
Guess what though? Y'all was on the couch
Oh, I
watching us
forgot
play,
they
so
lost. I,
doesn't really matter.
that was a painful loss too.
Yeah, because y'all just finished a little losing, so I don't.
I give you that. I don't know how you all over the place. First
I
of all,
think
you a
that was
Mavericks fan.
you.
You a Tampa Bay fan. What's your baseball
Phillies
team?
and the Flyers.
Okay, that's the only stuff that he's a Philly fan of. Come on, bro.
I would rather watch paint dry
Okay, divided to four.
before I become a Eagles fan.
Dag.
Aha!
They just never caught my attention.
You know we play by
Like,
this season, so that's all I'm gonna tell
Wow. That's funny. That is so funny. But you know, I know between myself and Dave, it's like we've probably been, Sixers fans,
Mhm.
and just never really changed, because those are our teams. But no,
you. I'm a Sixer fan.
hold on. I'm gonna get to you because like I said, you've always been a Sixers fan as well, and you've been more of a fanatic, than a fan. I will say that. I think you've been more of a harder fan than we. I think we support, but we're not necessarily like fanatics again. And Dan, he's a fanatic about the Bucks, the Mavericks, but I think that since we are talking about Philly, I do want Dan to kind of lead off this next segment and to talk about some of our current Philadelphia issues, things that are going on in our hometown, and it doesn't have to do anything to do
oh,
with the Sixers, so you can feel comfortable
well, I mean,
talking about that.
there's a lot going on in the city. Uh, from the mayor, there's a lot, all the senseless violence and stuff, and people getting killed. Just a whole bunch of nonsense going on. But the only thing we can do is really just kind of stay the course, try to keep everybody safe, do what we gotta do. But you know, implementing a lot of these little rules, like people cars being parked with tinted windows, you get $100 ticket. For what purpose? Hmm? Yeah, I've seen people
Are
be
you kidding me?
getting tickets already for it. So
Luckily, I got my
it just don't
exemption.
make sense. It's stupid.
Wow.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but even with the violence that's
I got
going
my
on,
exemption.
it's getting ridiculous, man. It's like every other day you turn on the news, somebody's getting killed. It's like a burglary.
Hmm.
Somebody's stealing something. Even with the cop getting shot for no reason. So
Yeah.
simple test. Just simple. So I love the city. You know, I don't want to leave, but you know, more and more you contemplate about up and leaving, going somewhere else. That's what's over now in Washington. No, for real. I don't even look at my phone for the time on. And I'm just so used to it, and I'm so used to it.
Well, there is an issue that I do have because I think you sent it to us, Dre, about now they're about to do all year round school.
Yes.
Like, what's
So, what is your question about that? Are you wondering why? Or are you wondering what's the purpose of it? Are you a fan? Or are you
I
not a
wonder what's the
fan?
real. I mean, I'm not a real fan of it because let's be real. I mean, okay, yeah, give parents to kick their kids out, but then they got to see them during the summertime. Then you got to you got to rechange your plans and like. I would rather the school district keep the teachers that they got for like the school year, and then hire those teachers that they can use for the summer.
Huh? So like, what's the issue with it? You trying? So is it you trying to say like, is it from a what kind of perspective you coming from that you don't like it? That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, I look at it the perspective like, okay, when I was in college, of
Right.
course, college is way different than regular school. I can admit that. You have more freedom and everything. But in the same given token, is more like, okay, every child that I've known, even us when we were kids, we look forward to the summer. You know what I'm saying? And now there's like certain schools that are going to do the pilot program to actually really, see if this actually is going to work. And to be honest
Well,
with
I
you,
see it from
I don't
another
know. I'm a
side
little
too.
skeptical about that.
Like educational purposes, it can push the children to like knowledge that's well needed and get them to different goals much faster. As far as on that perspective, look at China. They have school all year round. I mean, and
Yeah, that's China pushes their children to be honest with you, they're pushing their actual children to be better
but
than
it's
us
working. But it's
Americans.
working on a lot of perspective. A lot of them come over
Because
there.
a
They
certain
already doctors and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying. That like they doctors, lawyers. They a lot of them come over and they whatever. So I'm talking about as far as like on the educational side and goal oriented. That could push a lot of people to be successful on that level. Like now socially now. People got to get. Some people might have to get used to because a lot of people used to fun and play all the time. But fun and play, where has that gotten us? Fun and play and vacationing all the time where we lacking on educational purposes and a lot of structural needs that a lot of people need. So where has that gotten us in that field? So I look at it from two different ways. Yeah, it's like all right, it's gonna kill their summer, but fun and play is all we do. That's all we talk about. Fun and play, fun and play.
but structure but
I agree.
my thing
I
is
agree.
structure start in the home. Let's be honest. Structure starts in the home because the first thing as a child you must learn is manners. That's the very first thing. That communication and trust. If you can't
And
teach your
love and
children
love,
those
love,
three
love got to be.
essential things, yeah, okay, that let's put that in for. If you can't teach your children those four essential things, you come on, man. Like I agree with you. Like yeah, fun and games is all
Oh
fun
no,
and
I
games,
agree. I'm
but
not
you
saying
ain't
I'm
got
not
those
saying it
four,
don't
you
need
lost.
that, but that to me that's supposed to be the foundational pieces. Then you go with as far as like where you going to structure and like I said, children in the beginning it's like an arrow. It's like an arrow you shoot, and depending on what direction you shoot them in, it gives them a nice pathway to where they go. Now, if I shoot this arrow toward education and toward being high oriented things, they got a better chance of reaching it. But if I shoot them downward then I'm not saying they're not going to get there, but it's going to be a fight to get there because I shot them down instead of shooting them up.
But you also got to understand that most of these kids in
But that's
today's
the problem. That's where
schools
education come in. That's
don't
when
really
you have
care.
to reteach these people. Yeah,
And that's to me, I think that's where the honest to goodness problem comes because you said it when you talked about the purpose. Leadership is the biggest thing when it comes to like trying to
right. So
to really
that's when I
motivate
talk about
anybody.
doing these goals and different things. I'm
If you're
talking about with that in place. Because with that all in place, it can't function like that. So
mm-hmm,
I'm talking about this with that in place, and we need more leaders to step up. We need more leaders to come forth. So that structure, that's the only way we're gonna save these children and kids and young adults and young men is for people to step in that place and to guide them and to kind of show them love and to show them that your dreams might be crushed in this area, but you still can reach a certain part of the of your goals in this area because that's why I said last time I spoke on it last time. That's why a lot of the kids and children out there are angry and mad out there because their goals and their dreams have been crushed. So now they out there. If your dreams and goals have been crushed, you feel like you ain't got nothing to live for. You don't care about this. You don't care about that. I surely don't care about nobody else if my stuff is messed up and they come with that crab mentality. Now it's like if I see somebody else with potential, now I'm mad at them just because they prospering.
yep, that's agree. I agree. What say you, Dre?
So here's a couple things. And if you know me, you know I'm really, really big on perspective. Um, and we
Mm-hmm.
have to look at things within a certain perspective. So right now, you know, we're so used to the way that things are that when things change, we are resistant to it. Even if there's a
Mm-hmm.
possibility that that change might benefit everyone. So let's look at it like this, okay? We've been so, and you know, like I will say, we've been groomed to be accustomed to the fact that the kids are going to go to school from September until June, and then they're off and doing nothing. You know, which I think that, you know, because of that, we patterned a whole entire life around that concept, that construct. So now
Yeah.
they're bringing in year round school, which means that now there isn't that 3 month break, which actually might be good for kids that are not necessarily getting that education. There is a thing that is called summer slide, and we dealt with it in the library a lot, where kids they will lose
Mm-hmm.
knowledge because they're not using it during the summer, and then they go
Mm-hmm.
back to school
Mm-hmm.
and they're behind. Everything that they learned, they didn't necessarily soak it in because they're not using it for a certain time. And I think the thing that bothers me is that most people are worried about the fact that, you know, now these kids are going to be in school year round. You know, they might have to buy more clothes. They might actually have to pay more for babysitting. They might have to do other things
Mm-hmm.
that are insignificant to their kids' education. The other thing is that, you know, them being in school might keep them off the streets a bit as well.
That's the biggest thing. That is the biggest thing right there. Because at the end of the day, let's face it, when Mayor Kenning was in office, he could not control. He put a curfew out there. Them kids out there was like, okay, who cares? But now that we got Sherelle Parker, who's a mom, and the mayor of this city, she's actually enforcing or telling the police to enforce curfews. If you don't, I mean, and parents, they're not. I mean, do most parents I think prepared to really? I don't think so. But guess what? If want to cut down the violence or you want to cut down kids getting killed or whatever, it's got. I mean, that's the
But I
best
think
thing I
that,
can say.
you know, getting to, I will say, the meat of this argument is not the fact that, you know, it's an issue with 21 and 24/7, but year round schooling, but it's inconveniencing parents But instead of it being an inconvenience, how about parents look at it as an opportunity, that they could take more interest in their children, more interest in their education, and actually decide to change their routines so that they can fit year-round schooling into their lives.
I got one better. When my son Trayvon was in school, when he was going to Eastern University Charter School Academy, from I believe seventh grade up to maybe 11th grade year, no, his 10th grade year. I'm sorry. They were going to school all year round. 3 week break, come right back. You know what I mean? They would go September to December, 3 week
Mm-hmm.
break like they're in college. From January to April, Easter break. From April to June, 3 week break. From June to August, 3 week break, and they back into school in September. I mean, that I kind of understood because it was more like, okay, well, they're kind of incorporating the college format to it, and it actually did work because a lot of those kids that went to that school, some of them got really good jobs, others don't. I mean, but again, it really pushed them for knowledge and education to get that and to strive because their principal was very, very stern about that. Like hell, he actually was not going to graduate a whole graduating class because they did not get accepted to college. He made it mandatory. Every student in that class, in my son's class, had to be accepted to college or they wasn't going to graduate at all. So, and me being a parent that is very, 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 I'm very good. I'm high on education because without education you ain't got nothing. I mean, at the end of the day, if this gives the kids knowledge, because like you said, Andre, I came to visit you in the library when it was summer slide. You know what I mean? When them students, most of them students didn't know what they were didn't remember. I mean, to me, let's give it a go and see how it happens. See what happens.
He said, "Give it a go," like it's John Stockton and Malone.
Hey, listen, you got to go. I mean, listen. At the end of the day, you never know the outcome until you actually put it to work.
Oh, true, true, true. I think it's worth a shot. And the thing that I think the good thing is that they're only piloting it in 20 to 25 schools. So it does give it an opportunity to see if it works, see if it doesn't, and then we'll
Yeah,
move on.
I
Yep. But last time I remember, there was a guy who had an issue with these damn speed cameras. Yeah, I'm talking
Oh,
about
you talking
you.
about me? Oh man, we're not gonna have that conversation.
He said he had a problem with what?
What's your problem with them
Oh, the speed
speed
cameras.
cameras, man?
Well, listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. Majority of the city don't really. If you really want me to be honest with you, speed camera should be on Broad Street, because at the end of the day, let's face it, there was an accident that happened on Broad and Huntington Park for
Mm-hmm.
somebody speeding, and I mean, yo, the accident was ugly and it was fatal. And I truly agree. Yes, I ride a motorcycle, but I have to always keep in the back of my mind, I got kids to go home to. You know what I'm saying? I got a family to go home to. I got children to go home to. Not just saying, because at the end of the day, nobody phone call saying, hey, you know, my family member got killed. Now, don't get me wrong. That Sherelle Parker got a great idea. Yes. Do I think she's being a little about it? Yes. We're talking about up and down Broad Street. It's bad enough that majority of these neighborhoods got speed humps. I got one literally around the corner from my house. I'm dead serious. They got speed humps. Like, I like it used to be you can go straight up the street, no problem. Now you gotta go, slow down, go over the hump. Go up another 20 feet, 20, 50 feet, slow down, go over another hump. And I mean, it's like 4 humps for every
I'm be
50,
honest.
like
I love
50
them.
to 100 feet.
I love like because people be zooming. I'm in the school zone now where I work at the school on 22nd Street. We just got approved for for a lighting system and speed humps to be installed. They come down. It's a school zone. They come down there doing 60 miles an hour. And I'm talking about in the 2 lane.
Yeah.
So I mean, and it's dangerous. We done had so many car accidents. So Like in my opinion, even about the speed cameras or even just cameras, and I don't see what's the deal even with people having an issue with it. Besides, someone might catch you doing something illegal, like something you ain't supposed to be doing. But a lot of people talking about, oh, they watching us, they using it to watching us. I'm like, if they wanted to watch us, they watch us through our phones. We already giving information through our phones every day, all day, every app we on.
every
We
day.
giving them a personal algorithm of our own personal lives. So if they want to watch us, they watching us already now.
You say something once and it pops
Yes.
up in your Facebook page. Just like that.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, after looking at it, after really doing my research about the speed cameras, after seeing that accident, after seeing that accident on after seeing that accident on Broad and Huntington Park,
Mhm.
my heart went out to whoever got killed. You know what I'm saying? And then you got all these guys that's souping up their Chrysler 300s, their Dodge Chargers or the Dodge Challengers. Like you souping them up for what? And then on top, like the other, like I'm gonna be honest with you, a few weeks ago, me and a few friends was on the highway, and we just riding our motorcycles, and some cat with a Hellcat just came up on the side of us and tried to race us on the highway. Like, dude, do you see all these cars and it's still like it's like 6, 7 o'clock in the afternoon. Like it's still rush hour. Nobody's trying to run behind that. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. If it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, you forget it. There's no car. I'm going to catch you and I'm going to leave you. I promise you. You can bet your bottom dollar on it. But during hours like this, I'm not that stupid. You know what I'm saying? I have to, because again, I've got to remember, who do I got to go home to? I
There's a
got people
time
I
and a
need to go
place for
home to, and
everything.
I don't.
Exactly.
There's a time and a place
Yep.
for
I,
everything.
Exactly. So therefore, like I told Cat, like
Mm.
when he pulled over, he was like, "Yeah, I want to with y'all because I got this Hellcat and I know it's faster than a motorcycle." If it's not okay, it's not the driver, it's not the car, it's the driver, and it's not the bike, it's the rider. And at the end of the day, we're like, okay, like you said, time and place for everything. If I see you at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning, there's no cops per se. There's no real traffic on the highway. Let's run. I promise you, you won't win. But with that, I got people to go home to.
Well, on that note, um, this is where we were supposed to close, but there was something that we forgot, and I think that it's important. So we need to go back and we need to revisit it.
Wow, this is great.
Introductions.
I'm mad at the process.
Because we can't have this podcast, right? And no one knows who we are, what we do, or something about us. So let's start off.
End of the day, who
At the end of the day ends. So,
I'm saying, like, our, you've already said our names. Certain people that's going to listen to it, they do listen. I'm sorry. People that's going to listen to the podcast,
see,
they want to know who we are.
that's an
Some
assumption.
will, some.
You can't make assumptions, young man. Yeah, you have to
No.
understand that people are going to want to get to know us. Because of our distinct personalities, who we are, what we stand for,
Mm-hmm.
um, and the things that we say. So it's important for us to let them into who we are as people and why we say the things that we say.
Well, you
So
start. Then you
what I
start.
am going to do is that I'm going to let Frank start it off since he's the one that seems to not want to do an introduction.
I'm going to take your words from earlier. I can shoot you, okay? I'm just going to let I'm just going to let you know. I can shoot you.
Yes.
But it is what it is. Okay, yes. Yes, I am Frank. I am from, I'm from Philadelphia. I was born and raised here. I was in the military for 11 years, traveled around, traveled different places, traveled all around the world. Um, what do I stand for? I really stand for justice. I really stand for truth. And, I really stand for those that, you know,
We
if you
fight
get
for
knocked
freedom
down,
wherever
I'm
there's
going to help
trouble. G.I. Joe is there. G.I.
Free the bear.
right.
Joe.
But hold the best thing about me joining the military, I'm retired. And I'm good with that. I'm good with that. So it's okay. But in the same given token, like yes, I did defend my country, but the one like I know like in further episodes that we're gonna have further for this season, I'm definitely gonna be talking about the VA because that's my pet peeve. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna leave that alone. You know, and veterans is definitely is to my heart
Mm-hmm.
because I am a veteran. But in the same given token, like, you know, I thank God that, you know, I did serve my country and I was able to get something out of it. You know what I mean? I was able to get a trade. I was able to go to school. I was able to buy a house. I was, you know, I mean, I was able to learn how to be a man and really like live in today's society. Because today's society changes so much. It's not even
That
funny.
is so true.
So everything that changes because I was always taught nothing changed. And I had to teach myself that everything changed. And look at society. Society has changed a lot.
All right, Dave, want to go next?
Yeah. So I'm Dave. David. I'm not Dave. I'm David. So no, but I'm David. But I don't know. I let certain people call me Dave. Sir, I don't know. Only certain people can get away with that. But anyway, I'm David. I'm from I'm from really from North Philly. You know. Um, Let me see. I ain't gonna touch based on this, but I just a person who grew up like I know everybody's story. They grew up like poor, but I grew up like below that. But anyway, but now went to the status of like like father. Went to the church, elder. And now I'm like a fixer of things. I can fix basically look like everything. I can build stuff. I'm an artist. I've been a book writer. And I'm just like a regular, just down to earth brother, just trying to just make an impact in the community and somewhere along the way that we can help each other.
Well, I am Lord
All right.
JC's. Um,
Dan.
and then I'm from North Philly. I am a minister. I'm married to one wife. Uh, and I just like to have fun, enjoy, just enjoy life, just eating, church, all that. So, and I do have the bros